Welcome back on the AM show. Let me tell you a bit about the Nkyinkyim Museum, which is proud to present the 2024 Ancestor Veneration Ceremony, a powerful annual tradition that celebrates African heritage and honors the ancestors. Now, supported by the Adibia Royal Clan of Adan, this year's ceremony will take place on October the 5th, 2024 in Nuhalenya, Adan, Greater Accra region. Now, the event will feature sacred prayers for ancestors and twins, fertility blessings, communal cleansing, dining, and a screening of the documentary. We'll get into the details of that, but we do know that guests are encouraged to wear white, respecting the sacredness of the healing space and contributing to the museum's green initiatives. Ahead of the event, we have this interaction with the museum CEO and creative director, Kwame Akoto Bamfo, about the significance of the ceremony and its impact on cultural heritage. Mr. Akoto Bamfo, a very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
It's really good having you. Thank you for joining the conversation this morning. Just start by telling us a bit about the Nkyinkyim Museum and this annual celebration. Let's start from there.
Well, the Nkyinkyim Museum has been created to cater for our traditional systems, our culture, and particularly, let me take this, it's been created to serve our people's oral and visual traditions. So what I mean by this is that we are not focusing on very, very Western approaches to education and cultural preservation, but we are focusing on systems that are peculiar to our people and systems that our people can identify with as a museum. So that's what we do.
I see. What inspired you to establish the Ancestor Veneration Ceremony at the Nkyinkyim Museum? How did this come about, and how has it evolved over the years?
Well, as part of our cultural preservation practices, we are just continuing a system that is already existing. So we didn't, I won't say that I created it. What I have done with myself, with my team, with the Adibia Royal family is to continue a system that has existed for centuries. And then also, by continuing it, preserve it. Yes.
I see. And the symbolism of same, the symbolism behind the different rites. You talk about prayers for ancestors, fertility blessings, and all of that. What is the symbolism of that?
Well, it is everything. It's got to do with everything for Ghanaians and for the African diaspora as a whole. For a long time, the imagery of traditional systems have unfortunately been misconstrued. It's been destroyed, it's been misrepresented and made demonic, represented in ways that even our people don't identify with. We are in a country, we are on a continent where traditional people haven't been oppressed, helped to fight for independence. And Ghana, in particular, has been able to put forward three religions or three systems. We have two Abrahamic, that's the Christian and the traditional, Christian and the Islamic, and then we also have the traditional. But for some reasons, we have stood on the sidelines and have allowed our traditional systems to be misrepresented. And it means everything to us if we could see these traditional systems for what it is. Not every traditional system even identifies as a religion. And see it for what it is and use this system to protect and honor our own heritage. So the symbolism is everything. It's something that our people identifies with. It's not strange to us. And it allows the rest of the populace, the rest of Ghanaians and Africans in the diaspora who identify with this visual and verbal systems, oral systems, to be able to use that, which has always been available to us for centuries, to honor the images of our ancestors, or those who have come before us. And by ancestors, I mean your father, my father, I mean Kwame Nkrumah, I mean Marcus Garvey, I mean King Fuo, and everybody that you know. We are not talking about some strange beings. We are talking about people that have contributed to our society and to the African diaspora.
I see. And of course, all of those who came before us. But I'm curious, I do know that you are partnering with the Edibia Royal Clan of Adan for this year's ceremony. How is that partnership panning out? How is it adding depth to this year's ceremony?
Well, it means everything to what we are doing as a museum, and for me as a cultural activist and educator. It's continuing to ground our work in cultural preservation, because we are not creating anything outside of a system, which has been unfortunately how museum and cultural preservation has been looked at. You are supposed to work with the people. You are not supposed to build a museum and say, we've built a museum for you, so you come and inhabit it. You work together with the community to build the museum. And this is exactly what we are doing. The Adibia royal family are our land hosts. They are the closest. In fact, everybody who is part of the Ga Dangbe royalty has been our host. Accra, we are looking at Accra, but they have opened up to the rest of Ghana and to the rest of the world to host what we are doing, because as much as they are the host, they also identify that this is a national need, this is an African diaspora need. So it's actually going very well. I'm learning a lot. I'm learning. I was trained or raised by Akan, and this has been a great opportunity to learn so much about Ghana and culture.
I see. And another area of interest for me, that documentary, which is part of this entire ceremony, The Art of Healing Descendant Pain. It will be screened ahead of the ceremony. I'm curious to find out how it aligns with the general themes of veneration and healing feeding into this ceremony.
Well, the Art of Healing documentary traces the roots of my work. I am Kwame Akoto-Banfo, artist, art educator, cultural activist, and my work with the community and the purpose for which we have created a space that is not only helping to heal us as a people, but to heal the rest of the African diaspora. It is pinpointing particular areas in Ghanaian and African history, particularly African enslavement, and how it affects our current times, and how and why we are using art to heal ourselves, art and education to heal ourselves from the legacies of colonialism and African enslavement.
Maybe my final bit to you before I take your concluding remarks. We do know of the ravages of plastic waste, of even used clothing, about 40% of which end up on our beaches. We know of the ravages of galamsey as far as our environment is concerned. So let me just feed all of that into this. The Nkyinkyim Museum is promoting a green, plastic-free environment. Why is sustainability important in maintaining the sacredness of cultural heritage events like this one?
The African traditional systems, and again, I continue to use systems because we are not confining ourselves so we are inviting everybody to come and join us, Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, scientists, to come and join us. The African traditional systems promote harmony with nature. And cleanliness, like most religions would say, is next to godliness. We cannot be on the sidelines and allow plastic waste and pollution of water bodies, especially even now with the crisis we are facing with Galamsey, to disrupt that harmony with nature. And so in Nkyinkyim Museum, we are doing our part, but we don't exist in a vacuum. You and I and everybody listening is part of the museum. You know, you and I forms the protection for our own heritage. And it begins with how we relate to nature, how we keep our environment clean. And we are hoping that by identifying this and connecting it to our traditional ancestor veneration this year, people will remove that notion that the traditional systems are dirty and they are demonic, they are uncouth, and be able to relate to how our ancestors harmonize with our environment, protected it, and continue to protect it for the future. Yeah.
Any final words, any parting shots for us, Mr. Akoto Bamfo?
Well, I will say that let's all play our part. I'm not on air to promote African traditional religion. I'm here to preserve it. I'm on air to remind us that we are not pushing something that is not already part of us. During all of our independence celebration, you find that we identify all three religions. We all come, and Ghana has a key role in showing how we can harmonize. And so we don't promote anything above the other. But we are here, or I am here, to remind us that these systems are codes of conduct, and we should not fear them. There's no human sacrifice or any terrible thing happening when you come to Ancestor Veneration Festival. These festivals are there to conscientize us with our relations with the past, with the environment, and with fertility and blessings. And these are the very, very positive things that you are going to experience when you come to our events. We are particularly very happy with the progress with the community and with the Ghana community, what they've done for us. We are particularly very happy with all the other tribes and people in the diaspora who have continued to foster and protect this union. And we are asking Ghanaians and people who haven't heard about this to use this as an opportunity to not just patronize us, but help us to project protection of the environment, protection of our traditional system, and then, protection of our heritage.
Thank you so much for joining the conversation. Of course, it's all about the Nkyinkyim Museum, which is proud to present the 2024 Ancestor Veneration Ceremony. Who joined me for this conversation? The museum's CEO and Creative Director, Kwame Akoto Bamfo. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you so much.